Hello everyone, my name is Aditya, and today we will be taking a look at Oracle Integration 3 event filtering. Now, if you recall, there are a couple of different styles of integrations: application integration, scheduled integration, and publish and subscribe integrations. This is just a visual representation. Of course, this is not the internal structure. It's a PaaS service, so Oracle does not share the internal workings, but just a visual representation of what the PubSub looks like. Everything is inside of Oracle Integration Cloud, so the publisher integrations publish messages to some sort of internal queue, and there are multiple subscribers subscribing to the queue, and then they kind of receive the message and then do their downstream processing, right? So whoever is subscribed to that particular event receives it, executes it, and it's finished. And then there can be more than one publishers for the same event, as well as more than one subscribers to the same event, right? So in today's example, we will be taking a look at the order created event, and we will have two subscribers, one publisher, and one of the subscribers will have a filter for the order type mobile. So that means whenever a order is created with the order type as mobile, that integration will run, as well as the other integration, because there's no filter on that. But for any other values, only the second integration, subscriber integration, will run, and not the one which has the filter for mobile, right? Now, the steps that you need to take for the filter are as follows. Number one, define the event and the payload, and there is a custom header which you can define. In my example, I've defined it as order type. Then you go ahead and create a publisher integration, and then make sure to map the data for the custom header from the payload. And then you go ahead and create the subscriber integrations with the filter for that particular header value. Adding filter to the subscribers looks like this. Earlier we had a code sort of filter where you would have to type in this syntax, type as JQ filter, and then filter definition would be the actual filter on the or on the field and the value. But now we have a designer where you can, from the the sources, you can drag and drop, and then you can type in the syntax directly without the need of any JSON payloads like this. Remember, all of this is based on JQ, which is a light and flexible command line JSON processor, and it's primarily used for extracting and manipulating JSON data, right? Just wanted to quickly show you what I meant by JQ. If you go to jqlang.org, you'll see it's like SED for JSON data. It can be used to slice and filter and map and transform JSON data there. And then if you go to manual, and here you'll see examples and syntax that is supported by JQ, and you can also see it in the Oracle Integration Cloud documentation, where we have capabilities, restrictions, and then a couple of use cases of how to use it. And then also there's some of the syntax explained how to use and how the output would look like. So let's take a look at our integrations now. I have a order created event publisher, and then two subscribers, one for the type web, which doesn't have a filter, so this would even run for mobile, but this one, the one with the word mobile, has the filter for mobile. Yeah, before I get into the integrations, let's take a quick look at the event. So go here and click edit. You'll see the name is order created. That's my payload over there. And here under the custom headers, I've added a header called order type, and I've given it a description to say web or mobile. Now let's jump into the integrations. Here, the order created publisher is basically just receiving a payload and then publishing the event. And while I am mapping the payload to the data for the event, I've also mapped under custom headers the order type. And then I'll take you into the mobile one because that's the one that has the filter. So this integration is subscribing to the order created event, and you'll be able to see the filter when I click this here. So earlier you would have to write this code, but now we have a designer. So when you go to the designer, you can take a look at the custom header that we defined, which is order type, and I just dragged and dropped it in. And then I just used the JQ syntax. The pipe basically just means that you're returning the whole value that's before the pipe to the command that's after the pipe. So I take order type, and now I'm using a function called length. And I can show you when I go back to the OIC documentation. I can show you here. So under the capabilities, you'll see that these are the function calls that are supported, and one of them is length. We will also have downcase, uppercase, if you need to convert something to string or to number. Check first, contains, starts with, and all sorts of functions here. And these are not supported, so just take a look at the documentation and the examples to understand what you can do and you can't. But going back to my integration, so I'm returning the order type to whatever's to the right of the pipe, and first thing I check is if the length is not equal to 0, and if it isn't, then I'm saying give me dot. Dot is basically returns the whole value, and then we're just checking if that whole value of order type is equal to mobile. And again, if you need to understand what dot means, if you go back to JQ, go to basic filters, you'll understand that the dot is basically just the simplest filter, just takes the input and produces the same value as the output, right? So coming back to my designer, I just put this in, I click on validate, and let's save the integration, and then I'll activate all three. Okay, let's run the publisher with the payload and interface type web. So remember, when I do web, the mobile one should not run, right? So let's go ahead and run this. And let me just change this to mobile, and I'll run it again. So now I've ran this twice, one with web. So in the logs, I should see a instance for the publisher of web and the subscriber of web. And the second time I ran it for mobile, I should see the publisher of mobile and both of the subscribers running. So basically 5 instances in the logs. So let's go back to observe, go to instances, and you'll see there's 5 instances here, right? The first time I did it, only the web ran, and the second time I did it, both the web and the mobile ran. So there it is, pretty simple to understand, and I hope this helps. Thank you so much.